Rest days are something that we need to have because without it, we won't be able to adapt. So, when we're thinking about the importance of rest days, we need to first ask the general question of when do we adapt from a workout, okay? Well, the workout itself is great. That provides the stimulus, but the workout itself is not where the muscle growth occurs, okay? What's important is when we adapt from the workout. This is where, again, stay with me here, rest days are so incredibly crucial. So, rest is when you actually recover from the stimulus. This is where the rest day will come into play. So, we have that workout that provides the stimulus for our muscle to grow, but we need to then rest to get that overall recovery from that stimulus. And the adaptation after we rest is where we build more muscle, we build more strength, we build more overall endurance. So kind of the spectrum of this is we work out, that gives us a stimulus, we rest, that is after the workout, that is providing the stimulus time to recover. Once we recover from that, the adaptation occurs where we get more muscle, where we get more strength, where we get more overall endurance for whatever fitness capacity we are trying to work on, right? What we are trying to work on. So as you can see here, without that rest component, you're basically doing all of that hard work, all of that, as we talked about, that pushing, grinding, but you're taking away the easiest part, which is simply resting a little bit, and you might be shooting yourself in the foot. So rest days overall are incredibly important for long-term adaptation because if you think about it, as we discussed, if you are just constantly going in and day out, pushing and pushing, then guess what? You are never going to be able to build across subsequent training sessions for a long period of time. So if you're not able to do that, of course, long-term adaptation is not going to happen. One of the reasons that I really like having rest days, or even a couple of rest days back to back, is also just from the mental burnout aspect of being in any kind of structured physical activity or exercise program. If you haven't done a structured program for a very long period of time, you will quickly find out that when you actually do this structured program, that it can become mentally taxing to do it day in and day out. So reducing overall mental burnout is one of the biggest things, and probably maybe one of the most important things in addition to that adaptation long term. So another great reason to make sure we are having enough rest days in our workout routine is to reduce the risk of injuries happening. Now, if you didn't think about this, I'm going to quickly change your mind because injuries are probably one of the biggest reasons that a lot of people don't have long-term success in fitness if they are somebody who is diligent on their workout routine. So normally a lot of people struggle with sticking to a routine for a long period of time, but if you are somebody who is able to stick to a routine, sometimes this can be a double-edged sword because the more you stick to your routine, the more you might feel like, I just need to constantly do my workouts and not give yourself that rest. So if you are doing that day in and day out for a very long period of time, this can greatly increase the risk of yourself being injured. Inflammation won't ever get a chance to go down after that training response, and this kind of micro-inflammation can build up over the body, leading to overuse injuries in your tendons and ligaments, where you kind of have those nagging things that just will never go away. This can, of course, build up over time. So that is another reason why rest days are so incredibly important, is to ultimately reduce the risk of injuries. And another aspect of rest days that I have experienced myself from implementing them is to just enjoy your time outside of the gym. If you think about it, we are trying to spend time in the gym, time working out, time bettering ourselves to improve some aspect of our life outside of the gym. So it wouldn't make sense to have every single day being fully consumed with the gym. That's not what we want. And in fact, we want those rest days as a good time to kind of step away and maybe work on some hobbies, or get out in nature and just do a little walk. Maybe sometimes socializing with friends, If you normally have a training session that's pretty long, you can spend that time to kind of build in just some of those other aspects of health that aren't so physical, I should say. And just enjoying life. Life happens. Kids have ball games. Your friends want to go out to get some drinks. This is incredibly important to take advantage of these rest days and maybe working them around your overall workout days in conjunction with those days that you might be a little more busy. So like the video if that gave you a few things to consider and if you learned something new.